Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be going over types of numbers and symbols for review for Math 0661. We'll start with the number tree. We have numbers right at the top. Numbers are in three categories: real, imaginary, and complex, where complex is notated by a C and real is notated by an R. Now we can say that all real numbers are numbers, but not all numbers are real, because some numbers are imaginary and complex. This is called the converse. We can say that all real numbers are numbers, but the converse is not true. Now we won't look at imaginary and complex for this course, we'll just look at real numbers. With real numbers, we have rational, notated by a Q, and irrational, notated by an I. Now a rational number is anything that can be expressed by an integer over a non-zero integer. We'll get to what an integer is in a second, but we can never divide by zero, which we'll see in this course. We won't get a real number. Irrational numbers are things like pi or tau. These numbers can never be expressed by an integer over a non-zero integer. Now rationals can have decimals, but those decimals still come from the fact of a numerator over a denominator. From rationals, we have integers, which are notated by a Z, and these are all whole numbers. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. And from integers, we have natural numbers, notated by an N. Some sources include 0 and some don't, but we'll include it here. Natural numbers are just positive numbers that are whole and 0. So this is about it for the number tree. And now we'll be looking at symbols in math. We'll start with the basics. The plus sign or addition sign is when we add two numbers. If we have 9 plus 9, we'll get 18. The subtraction sign or minus sign is when we're subtracting two numbers. If we have 4 minus 5, we should get -1. And the negative sign on the number just means that it's to the left of the 0 on a positive right number line. We can also multiply numbers with an X or an asterisk sign, or we can even use a dot. All of these products or answers to multiplication should be 12. We can also divide using this symbol or a slash. If we do 6 divided by 3, both of these should come out to 2. Next, we'll move on to some more advanced concepts. we can square a number by raising it to a power, the power being 3 and the base being 2. But you might also see this with this symbol, and these should both be the same thing. When we raise things to a power, we're just multiplying this 2 by itself by the amount of the power. So 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, multiplying 2 by itself 3 times. And both of these should give 8. We can also do the opposite of this with a square root, where if we take the square root of 4, we can also see this as 4 with a 2 on the outside. These are both the same thing. This is just a simplified form. And we're seeing what number multiplied by itself should equal 4, and that's 2. Now, the last thing we can see is if we can have something with a higher power for a square root. And we could call this a cubic root, for example. Cube, because there's a 3. If we take the cubic root of 8, we're asking what number times itself should equal 8. And we know that is 2. That's about it for numbers and symbols. Thank you for watching.